Hello and welcome. In the next few minutes, we're going to talk about a framework that can totally change how you look at and solve problems in your professional life. The goal here? It's simple to stop seeing challenges as frustrating roadblocks and start seeing them as your biggest career opportunities. So let's dive right in. So let me start by asking you a question. When you hit a snag at work, what's your first thought? Is it a roadblock, just another source of frustration? Because the most successful people out there, they see something completely different. They actually see a hidden opportunity for growth, for innovation, and for success. To make this all feel a bit more real, we're going to follow the story of an adventure travel company. Their sales have kind of flatlined. They've got this big goal. They call it the 12 by 12 project. They want to boost sales by 12%. But right now, they are stuck. And that goal feels pretty far away. This is the problem we're going to pick apart together. So here's our roadmap for this journey. We're going to start with mindset, then we'll define what a problem really is. After that, we'll check out 2 different ways to find a solution, and we'll wrap it all up with a 6-step action plan you can start using, today. All right, first up, problems as opportunities. Because before you learn any technique or any fancy framework, it all starts right here, with shifting how you look at things. This quote really gets to the heart of it. You see, successful pros don't run away from problems. They actively reframe them. A problem stops being this big, scary thing and instead becomes a signal, a sign that forces you to get clear on your goals and find a better way to get there. For our travel company, the problem isn't just low sales. That's too vague. The real problem is this measurable gap you see right here. The difference between where they are now, say selling 50 tours a month, and their goal, which is 100 tours. When you define it like that, suddenly the problem feels clear and way more solvable. Okay, on to section 2, adopt a solver's mindset. Once you start seeing problems as opportunities, the very next step is to start seeing yourself as a problem solver. This is so important. Before you learn a single technique, you have to truly believe that you can solve the problem. And this isn't just some little mental trick. When you start identifying as a problem solver, you get the confidence to face challenges head-on instead of trying to avoid them. And here's why that matters so much for your career. The ability to spot a problem, define it, and then actually solve it, that's what gets you noticed. It's the skill that tells everyone you're ready for more responsibility, for a leadership role. It's what really sets a professional apart. This table kind of lays out the playbook, right? A problem solver acts with confidence. They don't give up easily. They see the opportunity where someone else just sees an obstacle. For the big stuff, they use a clear process instead of just jumping to the first conclusion. And when it's time to decide, they actually consider the options instead of making a rash decision. All right, section 3, what even is a problem? Now that we've got the mindset right, let's get really precise about what it is we're trying to solve. Okay, in the simplest terms you could imagine, a problem is just a gap. That's it. It's the space between where you are right now, your current state, and where you want to be, your goal. Remember that bar chart we looked at? The gap between selling 50 tours and 100 tours? That is the problem. So, now we know how to define a problem, but how do we actually go about solving it? Well, you've got 2 main tools in your toolkit, and the real secret is knowing when to use each one. First up, you've got intuition. This is your gut feeling, that immediate, instinctive reaction. Let's say our travel company keeps running out of brochures for a really popular tour. You don't need a 6-week analysis for that, right? The intuitive solution is simple. Print more brochures. It's fast, it's effective, and it's absolutely perfect for those simple, everyday issues. But for their big, complex 12 by 12 project, intuition just isn't going to cut it. For that, you need a systematic approach. This means being methodical, organized, and rational. You use this for the high-stakes challenges, where jumping to the wrong conclusion could be really, really costly. So let's put them side by side. Intuitive is fast. It's for simple things like printing more brochures. Systematic is methodical, and it's for the complex stuff, like figuring out why sales are down in the first place. One's a quick reflex, the other is a careful investigation. A true pro knows exactly which tool to grab for the job at hand. And that brings us to the real heart of this whole thing. For those big, messy, complicated problems, here is your step-by-step action plan that will guide you right to a solution. This is your battle plan. So let's walk through it with our travel company. Okay, step 1, identify the real problem. Low sales is just a symptom. The real problem might be something like repeat customer bookings have dropped by 30%.
You got to find the root of it. Step 2, gather information. This means they're digging into sales data, reading customer feedback, maybe even checking out what their competitors are up to. Step 3, clarify the problem. Now, with all that info, they realize the issue isn't their tours, it's that their marketing isn't reaching their target audience of young professionals anymore. See how much clearer that is? Okay, step 4, consider possible solutions. Time to brainstorm. A new social media campaign, partnering with travel bloggers, lowering prices. You get every single idea out on the table. Step 5, select the best option. They look at each one. Lowering prices could damage their premium brand, but that blogger partnership, it has a really high potential return. That's their winner. And finally, step 6, make a decision and monitor it. They launch the partnership, and they track website traffic and bookings from the bloggers' channels every single week. This whole process turns a vague, fuzzy problem into a measurable success story.
So, there you have it. A new way of looking at things, a solver's mindset, and a practical framework you can use. You're not just someone who faces problems anymore. You are a problem solver. So the only question left is, what are you going to solve first?